excited to introduce you to my lovely friend, Chantelle Adams. Chantelle is a speaker, an author, a courage igniter, and a passionate do-gooder. All of those things are incredibly true. Welcome to Live Your Freedom TV, Chantelle.
Wonderful. And I'm so excited because you're just true gold, and I love you. You ooze love and goodness, and you are making such a huge difference with the ladies that you're working with, and I'm honored to be here. So thank you.
Thank you, Chantelle. And I would say the same back to you. That's one of the things that I adore about you, is that you practice what you preach, you walk your talk. What you see here, friends, is the real Chantelle Adams in her business and all aspects of it. You go all out for your girls. And I just think it's not that common, to see people go to the wall. And so I just love that about you. So let's just dive right in. I really, really want to know, because I know this to be true, and I really want to hear it from your perspective, how your brand has allowed you to show up in the world and shine as the true heart of Chantelle.
Yeah, thank you. Well, and it's so funny because I wanted to kind of touch on this when you talked about branding, and it's an evolution, right? It really is this evolution. And I think I'm still evolving with what I'm putting out there. And it's all like this growth. I always say business is that best personal growth, personal development growth you can ever go through. And it really is the same with branding. And I found in the beginning, I was really trying to tap into colors and fonts and focusing on that. And what actually shifted for me is seeing branding more as the feeling behind everything you do.
Right.
And so when I did my photo shoot, or when I write copy, or when I have even branding or fonts or that kind of stuff, I think about I think about the feeling that I want them to feel when they're in my presence, and whether that's me physically or me online, it's really about now branding is a feeling behind what I want to create for them when they come and when they see me, when they're together, and I want it all to be cohesive. So that's just been an evolution of just really changing from, oh, I like this font, oh, I like this look, and oh, that's kind of fun, to really like, what is the feeling behind it? So that's been kind of that evolution. And also owning that, yeah, I'm fun and funky, and I love to just have fun and be silly and have dance parties and I smile a lot. And I remember when I was doing my photo shoot, I kept trying to kind of maybe do some more serious ones, and she's like, but that doesn't feel like you. I'm like, yeah, I know. So it was even in that moment of like, oh yeah, I got to bring that energy and that excitement and that passion through those pictures as well.
Mm-hmm, totally. And it totally exudes you. And for those who want to look at your website right now, I know your website's under construction, but you do have your Shine Live page, which is shinelive.chantelleadams.com, right? That's the URL. Yep. So please go look at that. And actually, I really want to ask you about it because it's stunning. Literally, it's stunning. And this brand coach is like just totally speechless when I scroll down that page. So tell us how you made that happen, like logistically, visually, I guess, because those are pieces that I'm sure a lot of our viewers will go look at that page and go, how the heck did she do this? It looks amazing.
Well, thank you. And it's having one big thing that I'm going to say is having an amazing team. So it really is, having people that you resonate with and that get you. And I just did my big Center Stage Live event, and I had a photographer, a videographer, a makeup artist, a stylist, like all these people. And sure, it was my event that I pulled off, and yet I could not have done it without them. And I choose people very carefully that resonate with my energy, that feel like they're my kind of people that I would just want to hang out with. Right. And so when I found this designer, she's amazing, and she really gets my branding. But also, I think it was a culmination of having amazing photos that you can pull from, the colors and the feel. Also, the copy obviously flowing and being able to have that. And really, with copy, I always write my own, but it comes from, I tell people to pretend like you're having a conversation with your one. So really focus on who your one is and really have that heart-to-heart conversation through that writing and pretend like that is an actual conversation happening, because it will be when they're reading it. And then the other piece is just having her pull from my programs and pieces of wording and things that I really love. So things like I told her, I'm like, this is all about shining. This is all about light and beauty and being that in the world. And so that's where the sparkles and the different elements have come from, and the playfulness too.
Yeah. And I just love it because it just feels so, well, I mean, I am cheating because I know you. So it also feels like so spot on, but it also looks so pro. And I just love what you said there about having a team and leaning on those people, right, to help, you when they're operating in their zone of genius so that you can stay in yours.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it wouldn't look like that if I designed it.
Right. So yeah, well, me either. And I do design websites. It's really top notch. So speaking, let's talk about your bread and butter and what you really, truly part of your zone of genius. You've got a lot of genius, but this is it, right? Like, this is the big nut of what your brilliance that you share with other women predominantly in the world around how to take their message and turn it into a signature talk, and to utilize speaking as a platform, as a medium for growth in their business. Can you share with us a couple of things? I want tips on how to get started with speaking for those who are phobic. And then also just, how helpful the speaking tool is within the business.
Love it. Yeah, for sure. Of course. I love talking and speaking, and really behind the piece of speaking is helping people to understand their story and have the courage to share it. So at the beginning of everything I do, from helping people create signature programs to helping them to write their signature speech, it starts with their story. So for everyone there, it's like, and it's not just your story. There's a formula, and it's your breakdown plus your breakthrough creates your diamond moment. And so lots of people will say, I have so many breakdowns and so many breakthroughs, but the one that you focus on is the one that finally did it for you, that finally sent you on the path that you're on today, doing the work that you're meant to do right now in the world. That's so
good. That's so good. People take notes.
And it's also going deep on the emotions behind it. So some people will give me a timeline. They'll say, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. That's not a story that's going to connect and resonate with your audience. Whether this is on your About page or on your interview or on a podcast or whatever, you need to have that brand story to connect all the dots. And I find when you get that brand story, absolutely everything else flows. So it's really about going on the emotional side of it and really having the courage to be real and raw and tell it like it is, and really open your heart and be able to just share that from a very real and vulnerable place, and then be able to connect that, because most often the people that you're trying to reach and teach are often in that place of that breakdown moment, and they need you to lead them to that breakthrough moment. And so that's why being real and vulnerable and just sharing, and I say paint the picture. So don't just tell us, you need to really show us. Show us with your words and your heart and your emotion. And some people will say, oh no, I'm going to cry. And I said, do it. Bring that emotion and really share that from the heart, because that's what's going to have people saying, sign me up. I need to work with you.
Yeah. And I worked with you in Center Stage, the program. What do we call it? Spotlight, right?
Yeah.
About a year ago-ish, kind of a little. Yeah. And I definitely went there on that. And then I had my first big speaking event in front of 400 women at the New Hampshire Conference for Women. And it was amazing. And I cried a little bit. I definitely got choked up on stage, but I know for sure that definitely resonated in a much bigger way, because I was just being honest and I was just sharing what I was feeling. And yeah, so that's beautiful. Thank you for outlining that and sharing that. It's so powerful. And I think also it just, really solidifies the importance of being in your brand wholeheartedly and giving yourself permission to show up as who you truly are.
Absolutely.
So let's give some tips for our viewers around how they get started. Let's say, we're dealing with someone who is a newer entrepreneur, loving, doing this, but every new thing is hard, right? Every new thing is a little intimidating and scary. And the idea of recording a video is paralyzing. So where do they begin?
Well, with everything, It's start before you're ready. That's always, something that I've lived by, and I've seen humongous growth in my business, because when I have that download of inspiration, or when I have that thought that I need to do that thing or post that video or share that thing, it's like jumping all in and taking action in that moment, and then the results will follow. And so when you have that download or that inspiration, it's like go even though you don't feel ready. When I launched my Center Stage program, I put it up on like just a blog post, and you talk about my sales pages. I didn't even have one. So I had it just on like a blog post, and I did my own like PayPal button, and I just did it as this beta round, and it ended up selling out. But I hadn't even, when I launched it, I had only done the outline, and that was like, and so I really feel launch, go before you're ready. So same with speaking. If you don't have, a big speaking gig like you got right out the gates, it's like start before you're ready. So start doing podcasts, start looking for interviews, start doing like this, videos, and sharing your voice with the world online. And I know a lot of people that have gotten booked for speaking in live events, at some really big live events, just solely from showing up online and really rocking their voice from podcasting or from webinars or from video. And so pick something that feels like it lights you up and start doing that now. Also go local. Yeah. So look around locally. Who can you partner with locally? Or can you host your own event? Can you make your own stage? So sometimes I'll say to people like, stop waiting for those big gigs, World Domination Summit or whatever to fall into your lap. You need to make your own stages. And so I have a lot of women that, create their own events, and I do that as well. And looking for ways and other ways to use your message. So some people will say you need to niche down on a certain market, which I agree. But I also feel like if you niche down on your message, what I call your North Star, then most often that message is needed in all sorts of platforms. And so when I look at this, I've spoken to kids ages, 4 all the way up to university students. I've spoken to parents. I've spoken to whole Aboriginal communities. I've spoken to obviously women entrepreneurs. And I have very similar messages or core messages that I give to every single one of them. And so it's just taking your core message and tailoring it for that audience. So I say, look for opportunities, even outside some of your places that you're currently looking, because you never know who's going to be in that audience that's going to say, actually, I need you to come to my business or my corporation, or I have someone that I know really needs this message, or will you come speak at my kids' school? And when you're just starting, say yes. Yeah. Say yes, right? When you're just starting to speak, say yes. And get out there and practice and get in front of people. And when you do that, more people will start to come and ask, and then you can be choosy. Then you can be like, okay, I know exactly where my market is, or where I really love to zone in on, or what really puts that, the back end pay for it. So I've gone corporate and gotten paid to speak, but now I'm kind of shifting more into speaking for free even, but I've seen it pay $10,000 or more for one speaking gig because I have the back end structure now. Mm-hmm. So it's also about looking for opportunities where your perfect people are hanging out and going local, but also another huge thing is building relationships. Right. So build those relationships, and it's not just something that's going to totally happen overnight. It might, like in your case, but you got to build those relationships and really give first, and always give, and with the intention of not receiving anything in return, but really to give and serve. And one thing that I've said, and it's worked beautifully too for others, is being able to volunteer at some of these bigger events that you hope to one day be on the stage for. So asking if you can be someone that's, volunteering in any platform, but giving of service first and connecting is a huge way to be able to build those solid relationships that can lead to invitations to speak.
Great. That's such powerful, amazing advice right there. I hope people are taking notes because this stuff is really good. I can't wait to watch this back. So from there, you mentioned the relationship piece. Could you elaborate a little bit about that? So just in general, how do you break in? How do you start making relationships with people in the business? How do you get into a mastermind group? I know you have a really strong network. What's some advice for these folks around how to kind of do that?
Right. So there's always the things of just being present and being visible. So say you choose, 5 places that you would love to speak, and you connect with the people that are kind of heading up that event. And it's not always just the face of the event. There is a whole team of people that are making decisions for those speakers and those events. So it's connecting on Twitter and Facebook and all those social media platforms. It's sharing their stuff, being on their Periscope or being on their YouTube or their webinar, whenever they're posting something, being there, being active, commenting, sharing. Another great thing is actually being in their programs and being a superstar. Right. So if it's someone that, you want to connect with, I know even with Off the Charts recently, I know that a lot of the speakers came from some of her students, right? And so it's like looking at, okay, well, I can learn from her. I love her, obviously, if you want to be on her stage. So why not work with her and totally excel, give her some killer testimonials, connect with her, build that relationship that way. So I've built lots of relationships by being a client. And I know our relationship came from you taking my program, right? We connected that way, and you're a star student. And so I want to have you. I don't know if you're coming for sure, but I want to have her come out and present on my stage at Shine Live, because she's done such fabulous work through using speaking to grow her business, even in this platform. So there you go. That's just showing exactly what I was just teaching.
Right? Proof positive. I love that. That's we'll talk. Just, dates and details, but it's amazing. And so let's talk about Shine Live. I really want to make sure we give enough time to talk about this, because I want to talk about the event itself, but also the power of running live events, because that's been a big thing in your business. And I just hosted my first VIP client day yesterday. And so we were in person for the whole day. We had a beautiful dinner. We were in Portsmouth, and it was just like magical. And so that in-person connection, share a little bit about that.
Yeah, you can't beat it. You can't beat it. So with hosting live events, so I have done this kind of smaller, more intimate event. So Center Stage Live, but with tons of moving pieces. So it's like, they're getting their photos done, and they're doing their video segments, and they're doing their stage, and they're getting stylists and hair and makeup and all sorts of awesomeness. So when you do your event, no matter how small or big it is, you want to really be there in service. First of all, what do they need, right? What do they really need from you? And then be able to say, okay, what's the feelings that I want to create around this event? So looking at the need, the feelings, and then coming from a place of total service and creating an experience.
Yeah.
So when I did my Center Stage Live event, I zoned in on, okay, so here's all the big details and all the big takeaways, but here's the feeling I want them to have. I want them to feel totally supported. And so backstage before their speech, I'm there, I'm micing them up, and I'm totally giving them this pep talk. And a lot of times we were crying, and I'm touching up their makeup and like, oh no, don't cry. But it's just that piece of like, you can do this, and being there, and then everyone cheering for them, and everyone writing a testimonial. And it was this whole sisterhood supporting each other. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I remember people saying, first of all, the biggest thing from it was the immense bond, right? That couldn't have been created in any other way online. So they were friends and connected online because we were working together for a month before the event. But coming together and actually being together and celebrating together and helping each other pick out your outfits and going through this whole experience together, there's nothing like it.
Right.
And then also the little details. So many people were like, I'd put little sticky notes on the mirror, just saying little love notes like, you're so beautiful and you're shining. So as they're getting their makeup done, they're reading these positive messages, from me, little love notes. And when they checked in, I just left a little card for them, so that when they got there, and I picked them up from the airport and drove them there. So personally, instead of, having them have to catch a cab. So it was the little things that they said made the big difference, like the little details.
That's beautiful.
So that's a big thing too for hosting your own events. So make sure you start with the feeling, the real need, really solving and giving some tangible takeaways, and then really serving and paying attention to those little details.
Beautiful. So let's hear about Shine Live, because I'm sure no detail will be overlooked with this amazing event. It's September 23rd through the 25th of this year.
Yes.
and it's where and when, all that. Give us the details.
Okay, so you've got to come because it's in Kelowna, British Columbia, which is the wine central. It's beautiful wine country. There's right across from where we're going to be hosting it in this beautiful old museum type place. It's going to be fabulous. It's right by the water. So we've got sandy beaches, the lake, the mountains, vineyards. It's gorgeous, gorgeous spot to come and visit. But more than that, we're going to be going through so much amazing content. So you're going to be getting your TED Talk, and it's actually it's conference style.
Right.
There's a big group of ladies, but it's also mastermind, because I want you to feel connected and I want you to feel supported. So you're going to have time to work in your groups. You're going to have time to take action then and there. So it's not just listening for 3 days straight. It's I'm going to teach, you're going to do it, and then we're going to have open mic time, question time, hot seat coaching time. So it's really this beautiful energetic of everyone taking action together and moving forward, and not just receiving the valuable content, but making it apply. So we're going to talk about stories. Like I mentioned, it's the key to everything, your foundation. You're going to come out with your story. You're going to write your TED Talk. I know so many people want to give those TED Talks, so we're going to write your TED Talk. We're going to talk about getting booked and really go in depth on that. I have some fabulous guest speakers who are amazing speakers and are going to share some of their tips. Then we're going to go into actually online speaking. So how do you grow your business using telesummits and podcasts and webinars? And again, I have guest speakers coming in and speaking about those. And then we're going to move into hosting your own events. So really in depth, helping you to actually take this message and create your own retreats or one-day workshops or live events like this. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a Hollywood producer coming. She's going to talk about getting on TV and news stations to share your message. And we've got Marisa Murgatroyd from the Superhero Summit. So she's coming and she's going to share how she added 10,000 to her list plus 100,000 to her business just through her telesummit. So she's a superstar when it comes to telesummits. So those are just a couple of the key players that are coming to speak. And then we've got something that's really fun is we're going to have obviously dance breaks, but we're going to do a flash mob dance because I've always wanted to do a flash mob dance. So everybody is going to be included and we're going to videotape it and make it all professional and it's going to be super fun. So that's one fun thing, and there'll be lots of prizes and lots of fun connection pieces and some VIP top secret stuff that's going to make it like no other event. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And it's for 200 women. So I'm like, because that's a lot. But I'm excited.
And the price point is really reasonable too. It's really accessible. Do you want to share what that is?
Yeah. So right now there's an early bird pricing on, which is just $397 for the full 3-day event. And this is not a pitch fest, just so you know.
No, it's not.
Solid content and
right.
So it's
just I know. So you taught me a lot in my business around really being able to show up for my clients. You know, you and I both have a skill where in a Facebook group or in live, we know all the women and we see their stories and we want to honor those stories because they're all equally important. And I learned that from you in terms of how to operate my programs, things moving forward. Like I can actually really just do this. And it's so beautiful. And so for the women that are watching this, that are interested and really want to take that next step in speaking, truly in speaking, but now all these other pieces that are part of it, because Shine is about more than just speaking. It really, you leave there with an incredible, knowledge base and understanding of how to grow your business. And I'm not an affiliate. So, I'm just sharing this because I adore you. And I really think you are amazing and you just have an important gift that others need to receive. So thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. And it really is like you mentioned, talking about like my soul calling.
Yeah.
And really, honestly, there's lots of ups and downs in business. And one of the things that I always say too is to make your why bigger than your fear, right? And to really be tapped into that why. And for me, it really is, it's always been about courage. And I just didn't know exactly how courage all played a part in it. But what I really know now is it's giving the world a voice. It's really about I know that the way to change the world is if we can really find our voice and find our message and find our story and then have the courage to share it, that people are going to be impacted all over the world. And I'm seeing that right now, and I'm fueled up on really giving people that courage to share their story in a bigger way so that they can reach more lives and really change the world. So that's my soul calling and the soul purpose for really helping women to shine. It's just a beautiful thing to watch and unfold.
And one little thing I want to add too is around your passionate do-gooder piece. You've built schools in other countries, right? Through what you've done in your business. So can you just share a touch about that?
Yeah, so I jumped out of an airplane to facing one of my big fears to raise money to build a school in Nicaragua, and we were able to go and see that built, and students are now there and learning and growing and having a voice too, and being able to find their hope and their ability to make a difference in their communities. And then also with my kids, we were able to build a school in Kenya, Africa as well. And when at Shine too, I really wanted to have a give back component, which will be helping to go towards building a school as well. But also this incredible woman who's actually starring in one of Oprah's documentaries. She's got this business where she supports women in India in creating these beautiful little bags. And so I'm working with her to actually have that be part of the swag bags. She's going to be getting these women to hand sew, and we pay them, fair wages and help them to have a beautiful way to provide for their families. Most of them are single moms, and you'll actually be able to see their stories. And she's going to come and be at the live event and share these women's stories and how, these little gifts that you're going to receive at Shine are impacting their life. And so that's a really special thing.
Yeah, and that's just, it's so powerful because we get to, as moms, teach our children how to make a bigger impact and give back with the businesses that we have created from scratch, quite literally, that are impacting the lives of other women. And it's just this beautiful pay it forward thing. And so I just love this Soul Sister movement that we've got going, supporting each other on our journeys and just making it happen and making this world a better place. So thank you for that, Chantelle.
Yay!
Cool. So everyone head on over to shinelive.chantelleadams.com and check out the beautiful page and all the beautiful messages on there. It's very inspiring, and sign up, give yourself the gift of heading over to British Columbia. For those of you who've never been to that part of the world, I haven't. So let's add that onto the destination list. And thank you so much for today, Chantelle. You're so lovely.
Oh, thank you. And love right back to you. Thank you for providing this space, again, for a way for me to be able to share my message and for others to have a voice as well. So thank you.
You're welcome. Lots of love.
You too.
Bye.